What's up guys, it's Mo the Man here. In this video, I'll be taking you through my investment strategy for 2020. Basically, where I'll be putting my money this year and how I've had to adjust for the COVID-19 outbreak. So I'm not someone who has millions in the bank and who has the luxury to take big risks. All I am is someone who works damn hard at their day job, makes enough money to pay the bills and saves enough money to invest and one day live off his investment. I made a personal commitment to myself that I won't be working till 65 and I'll try to retire as early as possible. If you are thinking that too, then you must make that commitment to yourself as well and start planning your investments for your future. That's what this video is all about, and indeed what this channel is all about. It's about everyday people who work really hard for their money, who are looking for ways to increase their income, gain more financial freedom, and hopefully one day give up that job. Now, these investment strategies can be followed by anyone. It doesn't matter whether you make 30k a year or 100k a year. Anyone can implement these strategies and be financially better off in the future. So if you like the sound of this video, then as always, hit, smash, crash the like button and also subscribe to the channel. It is really appreciated. Right guys, so let's move on to the whiteboard, and what I'll go through is I'll first take you through what my investment strategy was at the back of 2019. So what it was going to be for this year, and then after the crisis, the COVID-19 crisis, I'll tell you how it's changed and what the current investment looks like now. Okay, so let's start here. And by the way, just ignore this bit here. This is just my workout log during this lockdown. I'm trying to train as hard as possible. What else can you possibly do when you're stuck in the house, right? So yeah, ignore this section. We'll just start here. To begin with, I'll start with my largest investment I was going to make in 2020, and that is in real estate. So about 50% was going to go into property. Now, what I was going to do here is I was going to buy a flat and go through the service accommodation route, which is basically short-term letting the property. So that's putting it onto Airbnb, Booking.com, Gumtree, those sort of places, and running it as a short-term let property. Our data shows that if you go through this route, the Airbnb, the short-term let route, you can make up to 3 or sometimes 4 times what you would have made through the rental income. So if you're getting rent for a property, let's say £1,000 per month, then going through this route, you can potentially earn £3,000 to £4,000 per month doing it this way. So it was a really exciting investment for me. The next biggest investment was going to be 30% into stocks and shares. Okay, now, usually I tend to only, when I look into invest in stocks and shares, I only go for funds, and mostly index funds, okay? So I only invest in index funds. And the reason that is, and if you've seen some of my other videos, I've made a video about beginners getting into the stocks and shares market. Now, the reason why I invest this way is because I'm no expert. I don't even have the time to monitor the market, and you need to do that. If you really want to be picking stocks and investing in them, you need to know what you're doing. So I don't have the time to do that. So investing in funds, which is a lot broader, is a lot more safer. For me, if someone's got a full-time job who doesn't really have the time, it's perfect for me to invest in something like a fund. It's a lot safer, a lot less riskier, and the rewards are pretty good too. And that leaves 20%. So the next 10%, so I'm going to split the 10% into personal development. Now, that can mean the whole range of things. It could mean, maybe going on that course that you want to do to learn a new skill, or just, investing in yourself, in a side hustle or something like that. But definitely, this is really important to have something like this in your budget. But think about learning new skills, and gaining more experience, gaining more knowledge is always going to be beneficial for you in some sort of way. There's a strong correlation between those who are the most skillful and those who are the most experienced, and how much money they earn. There is a direct correlation with it. So this is always very important. Always budget for your own personal development. And then the remaining 10% is just going to be in cash. So cash savings. This money was pretty much for any emergencies or anything that comes up. So what you want to have here, and the way of strategize this, is you want 90% of your money working for you in some sort of way. That's how the rich become rich. That's how you become financially independent. Because if you start investing today, 90% of your money that you've got, spare money that you've got, into something that builds money or makes money while you sleep or while you do your other day job, then that's going to be the fastest way for you to retire early, and build long-term wealth. Okay, so that's the kind of strategy I look for. 9% is going to be invested and working for me in some sort of way. Okay, so now let's go to what's happened after that. So this is now during COVID-19 outbreak. The markets are down. The real estate markets. So uncertain. Everything's uncertain now. So what changes have I made to accommodate for that? So the first thing that I did was, you've probably known this yourself or experienced it yourself, and is that the property market is kind of come to or grinded to a halt. Here in the UK, most mortgages that have been provided by the banks have been stopped. So if you don't have anything that you want above the 60% LTV, loan to value ratio, those mortgage products have been stopped. So the banks are not providing it. What that basically means is if you don't have at least 40% deposit on the house, you're not getting a mortgage. So be very careful here, guys. If you're thinking about making investments in the property market this year, you may need to rethink it, because the banks are literally stopping most of their mortgages. So what's happened here is I've now moved 40% of what was going to be going into here, and that's going into stocks and shares. Okay, now that's become 70% of my investment is going into stocks and shares. Now you're probably thinking that's a big bulk, and it is, but you have to remember the stock market crash is the biggest stock market crash. It's worse than 2008. It's actually worse than 2008. It's the biggest stock market crash since 1987. Okay, that means one thing, and that is massive opportunity for you to get in cheap, get in early. But some of the things I've been investing in is obviously only index funds. So I've been investing in the S&P 500, which I invested in a week ago. I think I made a video about it, and I showed you how much I invested. And I'm already up around 10, 11, 12%. So that's about 15 to almost £2,000 in 1 week. The other thing I'm looking to invest in is the DAX 50. So the DAX 50 is the German biggest stock market, and the reason why I'm investing in that is because if you look at the crisis, which country, especially the Western country, who's had it the best? And Germany are doing an amazing job in their country. The number of cases, coronavirus cases they got compared to the number of deaths is extremely low, and the market is responding to it. In fact, in the last week or so, it's already gone up 20%, and there's a long way still to go because it's crashed quite a lot. There's still a long way to go, so I'll be definitely investing in the DAX 50. Okay. The rest of it is pretty simple. So 10% will still be in personal development. Okay, so I don't actually know what that is yet. Maybe I'll spend a bit of money learning public speaking, because I always think I can improve on that. I'm here speaking in front of a camera, so I can stop, pause it, edit it as much as possible. But I do really want to improve my public speaking, just so I can do these videos better. So I'll be definitely trying to figure out ways to invest in myself in that sort of way. And that leaves 20%, and the rest of the 20% is just going to be held in cash now. Okay, cash savings. And to be honest, in my view, that's probably the smart thing to do right now. You have no idea what's going to happen in the next few months. The government's providing all this bailout, stimulus checks, these furlough checks and stuff. So that's a lot of money that's coming out of the government that the government's basically losing. So someone has to pay it back. I have no idea if I'm going to be still employed by the end of this year or early next year. So I'm going to put in a lot more money back into my cash savings, just to accommodate for any emergencies, or if I find myself out of a job, I'll need to have something to fall back on. So that'll probably be the smartest thing to do in that case. Once the market starts picking up, once the coronavirus outbreak is over with, we're probably looking at mid-2021, where it actually starts to really get back to normality. That's when I'll probably start looking to come back into this kind of strategy, where I'll probably start moving some of the money out of the stocks and shares back into probably property investment, and try and get that short-term let started again. So guys, that's the end of the video. And remember guys, start investing in your future today so you can live tomorrow. There's no point in waiting for that pension scheme at the age of 65 or whenever you get it. Why wait till 65 to really live your life? Start making the changes today, start making the investments today, and you'll be so much better off in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.